Welcome to Behind the Door, the show that addresses the real issues facing businesses today. With your hosts, business intuitive and corporate innovator couple, Suze and Mac.
So the first chapter is winning value proposition. When you look at that chapter, there's a lot in there. There's a lot of research, studies, discussion. If you look at entrepreneurs, your typical entrepreneurs, how many of them are you thinking do that versus they have an idea, they think it's going to go, and so boom, they jump out into it. And then it seems like at some point in time, I mean, I loved the concept in that chapter, and so it seems like if they jumped into it, that at some point in time they need to revisit it. Is another way to look at it, right? You already got into it, you saw certain things, maybe you didn't do a lot of research, and you jumped. But that at some point in time, you really need to do this because you need to get into things like how do you write, what this winning value proposition is, and how do you market that winning value proposition, and what's the venues that you use, and so how do you? Is that something that should happen with entrepreneurs and
repeatedly?
Well, it's really essential, Matt. I don't know how I can say this. I don't want to advise people throw good money after bad, and I've seen it to the level of millions and hundreds of millions of times where people get an idea in their head and they don't vet it at all. And there are times when you have an idea and it may be good, and then within a year or two later, maybe the market changed. But and you need to somehow find a way, at least on an informal statistical research, by at least talking to 25 to 40 people in a target market. It doesn't have to be overly expensive. And the focus groups that I spent money on, were thousands of dollars. That's correct. They weren't hundreds of thousands of dollars to do that. But even I'll go on the low end. The cover of the book. There are 25 to 40 people that were surveyed on the cover of the book of the Principles of Cartel Disruption.
Whoa.
And you're the author did not choose this cover. But it's just but 80% chose this cover, so that's where we're at, because it's where the market is. It's not necessarily the echo effect of an entrepreneur. You want to distill, though, the market research into strong ideas, moderate ideas, and weak ideas. And then what you're really gaining for, and you'll see that in the charts as you go, is you're trying to get the features in good, better, and best, which is a diagram in the book on that, and it lists that. So you take all the features, and whether or not the feature of your product and your service is good, better, and best, and how you fit in the value matrix, and how you can give value to your customer. And I've seen this in the positive side in creating a multi-billion-dollar category with Eggland's Best and Cage-Free Free Range, and I've also been involved with things on the other side when we put etching on the egg, which the buyers loved. They thought it was the greatest thing in the world. So we're able to clear that hurdle. But the actual household consumers didn't really care that much. So it was a short-term thing. We knew it from our research that it would be great to expand the brands and expand the distribution. But long-term, we realized that there wasn't enough value to sustain it long-term. So you can use consumer research in so many different positive ways, to get you to be able to hone in on your customer and the value proposition that you bring, and also what values or non-values that your competition's bringing, so you can analyze yourself versus your competition.
And we'll be talking to you soon, behind the door. Have a great week.